Have you ever wondered why biblical narratives, despite their ancient origins, still resonate powerfully with many today? This question has puzzled scholars, theologians, and believers alike. These narratives, carved through thousands of years of human history, continue to echo in the hearts and minds of countless individuals. Is it mere faith or religious adherence that fuels this powerful resonance? Or is there perhaps something more profound at play here? Could it be that these age-old stories tap into deeper, underlying currents within the human psyche? It's an intriguing idea, one that has opened up exciting new avenues for exploration. At the core of the human experience, after all, lie the universal themes of love, loss, faith, redemption, and the search for meaning. Themes that find powerful expression in these ancient texts. In attempting to unravel this mystery, we turn to the realm of psychology, specifically to the theories of Carl Jung. Jung's groundbreaking work in the field of analytical psychology has revealed the existence of archetypal symbols and narratives deeply embedded within our collective unconscious. His theories suggest that these symbols, reflected in the stories and characters of biblical narratives, have the power to speak directly to our deepest fears, hopes, and desires. Jung's pioneering work provides a unique lens through which to view these ancient narratives, bringing us closer to understanding their enduring appeal and the profound impact they continue to have on our lives. Delving deep into this fascinating intersection of psychology and biblical narratives, we find the pioneering work of Carl Jung, which provides compelling insights. Carl Jung, a Swiss psychiatrist and psychoanalyst, proposed a theory that our minds are not just products of personal experiences. His revolutionary concept, which emerged in the late 19th and early 20th centuries, argued that our consciousness extended far beyond the realm of individual experience. Jung, a contemporary of Sigmund Freud, broke away from traditional Freudian theories and developed an entirely new perspective on the human mind. Jung's theory was rooted in the idea that our minds are not just molded by our personal history, but rather they are also shaped by collective human experiences handed down through generations. This formed the bedrock of his concept of collective unconscious, a theory that significantly diverged from the then dominant understanding of human psychology. According to Jung's theory, the collective unconscious is a reservoir of inherited psychological patterns, which he coined as archetypes. These archetypes, he believed, were not personal but universal, shared by all humans irrespective of their culture or geographical locations. In Jung's view, these archetypes were not mere psychological constructs, but they held deep symbolic meanings. They pervade various aspects of our life, from our dreams to our creative expressions. They appear in our art, in the myths we weave, and in our literature. Jung believed these universal symbols were so deeply ingrained in us that they even found expression in sacred texts. And yes, even the narratives we find in the Bible, according to Jung, are imbued with these archetypes. The stories, symbols, and metaphors found in the Bible, Jung argued, resonated with these universal patterns of the human psyche, echoing the collective unconscious that connects us all. Take, for example, the archetype of the hero, an individual who embarks on a transformative journey, often involving great sacrifice. This universal concept can be found in numerous cultures across the globe, from Asian mythology to traditional African narratives. Intricately woven into the fabric of our collective consciousness, we find ourselves instinctively drawn to these figures, identifying with their struggles, their courage, and their triumphs. Consider the biblical narrative of Moses, a poignant example of this archetype. This saga is compelling not just for its historical significance, but for the timeless human truths it encapsulates. Moses, a figure born into the lap of royalty but destined for a higher calling, finds himself carrying the burden of his people's freedom on his shoulders. To exemplify the hero, it's requisite to remember that Moses had to brave not just the tangible threats, such as the Pharaoh's wrath and the Red Sea's mighty waves, but also the intangible ones. These include self-doubt, inner conflicts, and the fear of failure. The desert wasn't just a physical wilderness, but also a metaphorical one, representing the perils and trials of life that one must navigate to reach a desired destination. Moses' journey mirrors the inner voyage we all must undertake to overcome our personal limitations and achieve self-realization. This story thus serves as a reminder to us that heroism is not just about physical feats, but also the mental and spiritual triumphs we achieve. It's about discovering our potential, confronting our fears, and rising above our circumstances to realize our true selves. Then there's the shadow, the darker side of our personality, the aspects we'd rather not acknowledge but are essential to our growth. This concept, often ignored, is vital for our self-understanding and personal development. It is the hidden, the mysterious, the part of us we often shun or disown. It is the side of our character that we'd prefer to remain hidden, the dormant part that lurks in the corners of our psyche. This concept, often symbolized in literature and religious texts, acts as a mirror reflecting the aspects of ourselves we'd rather not face. It is the embodiment of our fears, our insecurities, our hidden desires, and our suppressed emotions. In the Bible, one of the most acclaimed religious texts globally, Judas Iscariot is a quintessential representation of the shadow. His character, often viewed with scorn and contempt, is much more than a mere antagonist. His actions, his betrayal of Jesus, while seen as despicable and treacherous, were a necessary part of the narrative. His role, though despised, is pivotal, essential to the story's progression and denouement. What does it mean for us? It emphasizes the necessity of acknowledging our own darkness, our own personal shadow. The story of Judas Iscariot forces us to confront the unsettling truth of our human nature, the uncomfortable reality that we too have the capacity for betrayal, for darkness, for treachery. It forces us to confront the uncomfortable truth that darkness resides within us all. Similarly, the anima and animus represent the feminine and masculine aspects within each of us, regardless of our gender. This is a profound concept that has been explored and studied extensively in various fields such as psychology and anthropology. In essence, the anima refers to the female aspects present within the male subconscious, while the animus denotes the male traits present within the female subconscious. These aspects are not tied to our physical characteristics or our societal roles, but rather they reflect deep archetypal elements of our personal and collective unconscious. To illustrate this, we can turn to religious texts, which are a treasure trove of archetypal stories and characters. The Bible, for instance, is replete with instances of these archetypes. The Virgin Mary, revered for her nurturing, compassionate, and empathetic nature, is an excellent emblem of the anima. She embodies the quintessential qualities traditionally associated with femininity and enlightens us about the importance of compassion, empathy, and emotional intelligence. On the other hand, we have King David, a paradigm of the animus. As a courageous warrior and a wise, decisive leader, he exhibits traits typically associated with masculinity. His stories and deeds emphasize strength, courage, leadership, and strategic thinking. Through these narratives, these biblical figures not only serve as embodiments of the anima and the animus, but they also highlight the significance of achieving a balance. They teach us that we each carry within us elements of both femininity and masculinity. These stories remind us of the importance of balance, of integrating both the masculine and feminine within us. Lastly, the self, according to the renowned psychologist Carl Jung, is the archetype of wholeness, representing the culmination of our journey to self-understanding. It is a powerful symbol of the realization of our true potential. To better understand this concept, we need to delve into an example which carries an enormous weight in the collective consciousness of humanity: the Bible. This holy text, revered by millions, offers a potent representation of the self that is universally recognized irrespective of religious affiliations. The Bible narrates the compelling and poignant story of Jesus Christ. His life journey, from birth to death and subsequent resurrection, is a stirring narrative that is a metaphorical interpretation of the path to self-realization. The Bible encapsulates this tale not just as a religious guide, but also as a spiritual roadmap, offering insights into the human quest for self-understanding. Jesus Christ's life journey reflects the trials, triumphs, and transformative power inherent in the journey of self-discovery. It serves as a beacon, guiding us on our quest towards becoming a whole, integrated person. His life, death, and resurrection symbolize the path to self-realization, the journey towards becoming a whole, integrated person. To summarize, Jung's theory of archetypes and the collective unconscious provides a compelling lens through which we can view and interpret biblical narratives. This psychological theory, developed by Carl Jung, a Swiss psychiatrist and psychoanalyst, proposes that our minds are ingrained with inherent ideas or archetypes, many of which he proposed are shared across cultures and are a part of what he termed the collective unconscious. The collective unconscious is the term Jung used to describe the part of the unconscious that, unlike the personal unconscious, is not individual but universal. It contains the whole spiritual heritage of mankind's evolution born anew in the brain structure of every individual. These archetypes are universally inherent, presiding over the human experience and providing a common symbolic language. Jung's theory suggests that these ideas inherently persist in all of us and are universally expressed across cultures, hence why they make such an impact on our understanding and interpretation of biblical narratives and their lasting effect. These stories echo the universal symbols and archetypes deeply embedded in our subconscious and reflect our shared human journey. These narratives then become a mirror of our collective psyche, echoing our universal desires, fears, and values. They reflect not just the journey of the characters within the stories, but also our personal and collective journeys towards self-understanding, integration, and ultimately, self-realization. They tap into our inherent need to understand the world around us and our place within it. They journey us through our own human experience, helping us understand our motivations, behaviors, and desires. They enable us to see ourselves and others more clearly, promoting empathy, understanding, and ultimately personal and collective growth. They reflect our shared human journey towards self-understanding, integration, and ultimately, self-realization. So, the next time you read a biblical story, remember that beneath the surface, there may be a wealth of psychological insight waiting to be discovered. This means that often the interpretations of these enduring narratives can reveal truths about the human condition, the struggles we face, and the triumphs we aspire to. The psychological depth of these stories is often profound, reflecting the universal experiences of mankind throughout the ages. Think about it. These tales have been passed down through generations, from ancient times through the Dark Ages, the Renaissance, the Industrial Revolution, modern times, and into our digital era. They resonate with us because they explore the fundamental questions we grapple with about our existence, our purpose, and our place in the world. Each story holds a myriad of interpretations. Each character, plot, and resolution can be seen as a metaphorical representation of the human psyche, shedding light on our unconscious motivations, fears, desires, and potentials. The wisdom these stories provide can guide us in understanding ourselves, others, and the world around us. Delving into their depths can help us gain a more nuanced perspective on life, and can ultimately empower us to lead more fulfilling lives. As we dive deep into these narratives, we may not only find answers, but also important questions that will prompt our own personal growth. After all, as Jung himself said, the privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are.